The truth about why married women are the easiest prey. Have you ever stopped and wondered why some marriages thrive on trust and love, while others are just a facade filled with deceit and hidden truths? How often do we see someone say one thing but do the complete opposite? Today, we're peeling back the layers and getting real about what's often left unsaid in marriages. Why should you stick around for this one? Because in this video, we're diving into a truth that's rarely discussed. And trust me, it's going to make you rethink everything. Let's talk about something that's not so comfortable. What happens when married women act in ways that might just surprise you? Ready to get real? Let's go. In a perfect world, a married woman is like a fortress, untouchable and loyal. She made vows, she signed the papers, she promised to stand by her husband through thick and thin. But here's the problem. Reality is rarely a fairy tale. Think about it. If a married woman suddenly shows interest in another man, trust me, it's no accident. Before marriage, women play the game, acting like a prize that's hard to get, building up their value and creating an air of mystery. Why? Because they want a man who's worth the chase, someone who'll fight for her. But once married, things change. She's already claimed, the ring's on her finger, the legal papers are signed, and her husband is waiting at home. So, why keep up the act? Here's where it gets interesting. She doesn't need to win him anymore. She's got what she wanted. But guess what? She still wants something else. She wants freedom, even if it's just for a moment. Now, imagine a man notices that wedding ring. He knows she's married, and a lot of the time, she'll even tell him, "I'm married." That should be enough of a red flag, right? Wrong. When that man doesn't back down, a different game begins. She's not looking for a lifelong commitment. She's looking for some temporary excitement, a quick escape. And what happens next? She gets it. The man agrees. They both get what they want, but at what cost? According to a survey, 60% of men admitted to having an affair with a married woman. And get this, 40% of those men said it was the woman who made the first move. That's right. It's not always the men hunting. Sometimes she's the one taking the lead. But hold on, it's not all fun and games. As the man starts to develop feelings, the stakes get higher. This is where the real drama begins. When feelings come into play, everything changes. The man's expectations rise, but she's not prepared for that. She's not interested in a committed relationship. She just wants disgust. And trust me, you won't want to miss it. Get ready for a raw, uncensored look at why some married women act in ways that'll make you raise an eyebrow. Let's get into it. In an ideal world, a married woman would be an unbreakable fortress, someone who's already made her vow and promised loyalty. Her husband is her partner for life, through thick and thin, for better or worse. But let's be honest, life isn't a fairy tale. The reality is much messier. So what happens when a married woman starts showing interest in another man? Spoiler alert, it's rarely a coincidence. Before marriage, she plays it cool, keeps her options open, and lets the man prove his worth. But once the ring is on her finger, everything changes. She's locked in, the papers are signed, and now the game's different. She doesn't need to chase anyone anymore. Now she's looking for something else. Freedom. Freedom from the routine, freedom from expectations. So what happens when a man notices her wedding ring? He knows she's off limits by society's standards. But sometimes she'll drop a hint, "I'm married," as if that's a warning. But if he doesn't back off, that's when the dance starts. What's her motivation? She's not interested in commitment or even long-term attachment. She wants something quick, a moment of excitement to break the monotony. And if the man agrees, well, both get what they want, but only for a short time. At first, they're both happy, but this kind of thrill-seeking rarely ends well. A survey of 500 men revealed that over 60% have had at least one affair with a married woman. And shockingly, 40% of those men admitted the woman was the one who initiated it. So, not every situation plays out with the man as the hunter. Sometimes the woman is the one chasing the excitement. But here's the twist. When the man starts catching feelings, the game changes. Now he's emotionally invested and things get complicated. He wants more time, more connection. But for her, she just wanted a momentary escape. That's when things can quickly fall apart. The emotional roller coaster begins. The more he craves, the more she pulls away. And when he becomes too attached, she's ready to move on. No strings, no commitment. She's not interested in a new partner. She has one already. And if the man tries to demand more, he becomes a burden. She'll quickly discard him. Meanwhile, the married woman often feels secure. She has the stability her husband provides, financial support, a safe home, security, so she can take these risks without fear of losing anything substantial. It's all fun and games until someone gets hurt. We see this in real life. Scandals involving celebrities, politicians, even everyday people. The affair often wasn't initiated by the person we expected. And what happens next? Marriages break down and lives get. So what should a man do in these situations? First, accept reality. These kinds of relationships are rarely built to last. You're just a temporary escape for her, not a permanent solution. Second, don't waste your time trying to change change her. If she's after excitement, she won't magically turn into a loyal partner. And third, don't deceive yourself. If you're playing this game, be ready to walk away when the fun stops. These relationships carry emotional and sometimes physical risks. When the marriage becomes a routine, when the spark fades and everything feels predictable, the temptation to seek something new becomes stronger. Add in girls' nights, work parties, and random outings, and suddenly the chance of an affair skyrockets. It's not necessarily about love or betrayal. It's about filling the emptiness and seeking that rush. The irony here is that many women dream of marrying a wealthy man for stability. But the sad truth is, many of those wealthy men end up too soft, too willing to please, sacrificing their own self-respect to make her happy. And what happens then? She loses respect for him. She takes his care for granted. And no matter what he does, she's looking for someone who provides something different. Excitement, contrast, and yes, thrills. But here's the kicker. The husband often doesn't even realize his marriage is slipping. To the wife, cheating doesn't feel like betrayal. It's just a way to add some color and excitement to a dull life. She rationalizes it as harmless because her home life is still in place. The house is still standing. But here's the harsh reality. If she doesn't respect her husband and he tolerates her behavior, she's emboldened. The more she gets away with, the worse it gets. Think of her marriage as a house that looks fine from the outside, but inside, it's decaying. One gust of wind, one unexpected event, and the whole structure can collapse. And what happens too is balancing on a tightrope, holding everything together, his family, his finances, his time. But as his wife shakes that rope, testing the limits, the risk of him falling increases. Each little misstep, each moment of indulgence, brings him closer to a disaster he never saw coming. History is filled with stories of men, celebrities, politicians, everyday people, destroying their entire families for a fleeting thrill. Women who felt invincible, pushing the boundaries until everything came crashing down. The fact is, when there's no respect in a relationship, there can be no loyalty. And when respect is gone, everything else follows. The key here is that marriage doesn't automatically guarantee happiness. It requires constant nurturing, mutual respect, and daily effort. Without these, your relationship becomes a hollow shell. Both partners live their separate lives, and eventually, it's too late to fix it. Married women often attract men because they don't require grand gestures or constant attention. They're not looking for flowers, romance, or declarations of love. They want results, and often that means a simple, no-strings-attached connection. But here's where the trap lies. As the man grows attached, his emotions get tangled, and the temporary fun suddenly feels like it's turning into something more. But here's the harsh truth. She doesn't want a new partner. She already has one. When feelings start to complicate the situation, the balance shifts. What started as a casual fling becomes a tangled mess of emotions that neither side can control. For the men out there, let me give you some advice. Don't ignore the red flags. Respect yourself first, and others will follow suit. Don't get caught up in the illusion of something that isn't real. Know your worth and stand firm in your boundaries. For the women, ask yourself, what do you truly want from life? Are you seeking a thrill? Or are you ready to compromise for something lasting? Life is full of choices, and every action you take has consequences. Think carefully before diving into situations that could have explosive outcomes. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you agree with what we've discussed today? Share your thoughts below. And remember, if you found this video thought-provoking, like, follow, and subscribe for more deep dives into topics like this. The more we engage, the more we uncover. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.